Hello and welcome to Goa 365 Story Behind the Story. Now, Goa is a progressive state in many ways. This is something that the full of India and large parts of the world look at. However, there's always a story behind the story. There's always something, be it tourism, be it social issues. There's always the seamier underside, the underbelly in almost everything today in this world if you go to see. Now, in Goa too, issues of child trafficking are there. Many times they're not discussed. Many times people try to put them under the carpet. The implementing agencies don't have SOPs, they don't have standard operating procedures, how to go about it. There is no equality, there is no fairness. If somebody has got clout, has got money, there everybody runs and sorts it out. But somebody who is part of the general populace and doesn't have that much of pecuniary, doesn't have that type of money, clout, influence, nobody bothers. This is something that I'm sure most people in authority will not admit. However, it happens, it has happened, it is happening, and probably it will happen up till these things come out in public, and some endemic, some SOPs, some supervision is done, and carrot and stick is applied to the implementing agencies and the other agencies, so that it's a part of a deterrent. Today, to discuss this issue, I have a very distinguished panel with us and one of the victims of this very heinous and very sad crime. I would like to start off with, to introduce them, Prakash Kamath, senior journalist. Prakash Bab, welcome to our show. Sushma Hebare, the mother of a missing child. Sushma ji, welcome. Arun Pandey, director ARZ, doesn't need too much of an introduction because he's been in this line for a very long time. And Juliana Lower, welcome to our show. Juliana is in charge of the initiative of Women's Initiative for Self-Help. So I would like to start off with Prakash Bab just to give us a general thing. Then we'll go directly to Sushma ji.
Yes.
With Prakash Bab.
Yeah. As Glenn has rightly said, we have these issues, and here is the issue now we are raising about trafficking in children, trafficking in women, trafficking of children. These are the issues. Now with me I have Sushma Hebare. She is from Baina. Sushma is a woman in a marginalized community in Baina, and around 12 years back her child from home, that time the child was 4 years, son, was trafficked, was lifted from there, and her husband is a ID, intellectual disabled person, can't do much, and she has been struggling, running from pillar to post to get that child. 12 years have passed, nothing has happened, and I will mention it. Sushma said that till my child I get back, I will not wear my slippers. She goes barefoot. This is the plight of a woman from a marginalized section who is struggling and still to get her child. With me, I have on my left side Arun Pandey, who is director of ARZ, Anyay Rahi Zindagi NGO, working for commercially exploited, trafficked women, commercially sexually exploited women, their rehabilitation, then also trafficked women and children, girls, boys. They work for them, they work to support them. And I have with me also Juliana Lohar, who, as Glenn you mentioned, that she is also from ARZ. She does counseling for these women, trafficked women, women out of sexual exploitation, and also their empowerment, economic empowerment is very important, because of stigma attached to them in our society. They are not easily accepted and given work or economic ventures. So there is a initiative, WISH, Women's Initiative for Self-Help, which works for these women to give them every month some income so that they can look after their families.
Okay. Thanks Prakash Bab. सुषमा जी, अभी क्या हुआ 12 वर्ष पहले?
12 वर्ष से पहले मेरा एक लड़का था, विकास उसका नाम, फिर वो खेलने गया था, वो खेलने से तभी से घूम गया। तभी से घूमने के बाद सब कुछ पे उधर इधर सब ढूंढा है, शोध किया, फिर भी नहीं मिला। फिर भी नहीं मिलने के बाद मैं पुलिस के पास जाके सब कंप्लेंट दिया, कुछ भी नहीं हुआ। फिर भी 4.5 साल का बच्चा था मेरा, वो भी अकेला था। मैं बहुत घूमा, बहुत किया, उसी दिन से चप्पल नहीं से घूमे से औरत। अभी तक 12 साल हुआ, अभी तक मेरा बच्चा नहीं मिला। अभी तक शोध कर रही हूँ, फिर भी नहीं मिल रहा है मेरा बच्चा। कैसा भी करके मेरा बच्चा ढूंढ के देना चाहिए। एक ही बच्चा था मेरा।
सुषमा जी, आप पुलिस के पास गए, पुलिस भी ढूंढा और नहीं तो बोला आप लोग ढूंढो, क्या क्या किया एग्जैक्टली?
मैं पुलिस के पास गया, विटनेस दिया, सबको किसके किसके पास बच्चा गया था उनका नाम मेरे को सब लोगों ने मिला, उनका थोड़ा सहारा मिला, उनका सहारे से सब कुछ मैं इंफॉर्मेशन दे दिया। फिर भी पुलिस पकड़ के भी उनको छोड़ दिया, उनको छोड़ दिया। फिलहाल हम पकड़ के ला के दिया, फिर भी वो लोग छोड़ दिया। उनको मारपीट के पूछा नहीं है। अपना बच्चा रहे तो पूछ लेता था, अमीर का बच्चा रहे तो पूछ लेता था, हमारा गरीब का बच्चा का कौन केयर करेगा?
Arun, this is a common thing what happens that you need clout or much action is taken, or is that you feel that everybody does his best, everything is fine?
No, see, if you go to see there no society which is crime free.
Obviously.
But what we need to judge is that how the law enforcement agencies are working towards controlling crime, and if a crime has been committed, how they are investigating that. If you go to the Sushma's case, because we have been associated with this case, unfortunately not from the beginning but after 15 days. It appears in her case what happened, the child went missing, the whole community went searching. Okay, and she was advised by the community to approach the police. She went within an hour to inform the police. Police said आप खोजो अपने आप, और हम लोग देखता है, अगर नहीं मिलेगा तो फिर आप आके बताना। अब 4.5 साल का बच्चा अपने आप तो कहीं चला नहीं जाएगा। ओके, ये नहीं किसी के साथ इलोप हो गया, ऐसा तो नहीं था। उसी समय अगर सीरियसली लिया गया होता और हम अपनी बाउंड्रीज है वो चेक करते, बस स्टॉप चेक करते, तो हो सकता मिल जाता। It's unfortunate after 15 days when she couldn't find the child, then the community people approached us, and it is then when we approached the police and FIR was registered.
After 15 days?
After 15 days. And this is too late.
Oh, the person could have disappeared from the country also. Nobody would even know.
And in her case, if you go to see that even Goa State Human Rights Commission found that the guidelines laid down by Honorable Supreme Court were not followed. If within a month, if you are unable to trace the child, you should transfer the case to anti-human trafficking unit.
Was not done.
It's not done. It's only after 2 years. When we went to Human Rights Commission intervened, it went to ASTU. Okay, and then ASTU also failed. Okay, so here we have a case which clearly shows that how the state has not been sensitive, okay, to people from marginalized, as he said, marginalized society, as she rightly said. अगर यही अमीर का बच्चा होता तो सिग्नल्स हर जगह चले गए होते, हम सारे अपने एंट्री और एग्जिट हम उसको चेक कर रहे होते, ओके, एंड पुलिस ऑल फोर्स में वो होती। और हम अब आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट बेस्ड ऑन माय experience of last 25 years, there is discrimination. In cases where the child belongs to the upper class or influential people, the interventions are different.
Much stronger.
Yeah, very true. Okay. There have been cases where the police officers have been flown to Delhi
really
to trace the child, because the kidnapper was taking a child. It's a Kalangut case. The kidnapper was taking the child in the train and they got information. The police officer flown and so what I believe is not that Goa police can't do. Okay, they have good training. I see they have the capacity. They can do that. But the problem is that we need to see that why is it that when it comes to poor families, they don't get justice. नहीं, अब सुषमा जी को क्या जवाब देगा? हु इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल, हु इज गोइंग टू कंपनसेट हर? इसको ये भी नहीं मालूम है कि इसका बच्चा है ना को भीख मांगने के लिए लगाया गया है या किसी ने गोद लिया है ना, कि क्या हुआ है ना? कभी कभी सुषमा हमें बोलती है अगर ये अभी मालूम तो बच्चा मर गया है तो भी शांति हो जाती है, यहाँ पे तो मालूम नहीं है मेरे बच्चे के साथ क्या हो रहा है। करेक्ट सर।
तो जुलियाना जी, how do you talk to people like this? See, we've got kids. How is some sort of, I don't know, how can they cope with such trauma?
See, I think when Sushma has made
The feeling of helplessness. Basically, it's helplessness, no? It's like, what to do? You can't do anything.
See, I think when Sushma has made a statement कि अगर हमको मालूम हो जाता है कि मेरा बच्चा नहीं है इस दुनिया में, तो एक तरह का ग्रीफ वो
Closure.
महसूस करता है और एक क्लोजर आ जाता है कि ठीक है अभी मेरा बच्चा इस दुनिया में नहीं है. I do recall meeting and seeing Sushma for the past many years, and I do see how that grief is basically emotionally draining her. Okay, because I had met Sushma when she had a child just about once or twice, and she had some life in her. But now you see the grief is completely taking a control in her life, and this sadness that is there, she is carrying on in life, but she still, I think whenever she comes to us, I think we also feel very bad is that we've not been able to solve this. ठीक है? Yes, Sushma is going through grief. As Prakash ji mentioned, her husband has a mental disability, so she doesn't even have that type of support from him to share her, the loss that she's had of a child. Okay, so Sushma is struggling, carrying on, and I think she still has some hope somewhere that I'll get some information about my child, and I think it is with that hope that she's still living. What is our concern also is actually where's this child? Okay, what is his identity now? Is he in a safe environment or no? So those are some area of concerns that I think we all have, including the mother of this child.
Yeah, thanks, Juliana ji. Prakash, what I'm saying is that many of these, we've just had a recent case in Margaon when a child was taken. So, you were saying maybe this child has been kidnapped, is gone to somebody as
adoption.
Adoption. So many cases. So these things are pretty common, no? Especially this trafficking in Goa and all is quite an issue, right?
Yes.
So, as part of society, as a part of civic society, how do you see this?
No, this is a very big concern. I'll tell you, starting with her case, around 12 years. I am associated with this case right from the beginning.
How?
Yeah, because through Arun, it came to late Satish Sonak, advocate and social worker. And he used to always, as a journalist, he used to approach me. And that is how we took her lot of times, press conferences and other things. We took her to that time SPs, DGPs. We have taken her. Satish on her behalf filed in human rights when police were told to follow the guidelines. All these things were done, and still that time we found this gap, what she is rightly saying, that a child of Srimant ka hota, so everybody would have run around. This is the reality. There are in police systems, there are also grievances like you have to give a ad in other places. Court says we have to take permission, we have no budgets, we have no this, we have no allocated money. All these kind of things come up. So this awareness in the society is the first thing. Who has to do awareness? We media. Media also play a huge role here, I feel. So these things have to come out. I think NGOs should be strengthened, they should be supported in this kind of things, and these cases, more awareness should be generated.
Okay, Prakash ma'am, we are going in for a small break. After that, I'll get back to Sushma ji. Keep watching. वेलकम बैक. सुषमा जी, अभी आपको क्या मन में क्या है? अभी तो चांस है, अरुण जी है, जुलियाना जी है, अभी क्या आपका क्या है? आप क्या सोचते हैं अभी?
चांस है, मेरा बच्चा मिलेगा करके जरूर मेरे को विश्वास है, सर पर बहुत विश्वास है। सर बहुत खटपट किया है, बहुत कोशिश किया है, मगर हिम्मत नहीं हारा है। मेरे को भी सलाह दिया, सुषमा तुम ठीक से रहोगे, कुछ ना तेरा बच्चा मिलेगा, ऐसा भर के विश्वास दिलाया। उसी विश्वास से मैं अपना पति को भी बोलती हूँ। मेरा पति बोलता है बच्चा नहीं मिलेगा, क्यों विश्वास करती हो, क्यों ये करती हूँ। मैं बोलती हूँ मेरा बच्चा मिलेगा, जरूर मिलेगा मेरा बच्चा। मेरे से भगवान पर से ज़्यादा सर पर विश्वास है, भगवान से समान सर भी है, इसलिए मैं विश्वास रखती हूँ मेरा कहीं ना कहीं मेरा बच्चा रहेगा। एक ना एक दिन मेरा बच्चा मेरे पास आएगा जरूर।
सुषमा जी, आपके हिसाब से समझा पुलिस ने नहीं तो गवर्नमेंट ने कुछ जल्दी ये किया था, कुछ किया था, वो मिल सकता था, चांसेस था?
हाँ चांसेस था। मैं पूरा उनका पूरा सम वीकनेस भी मैं उनके साथ पकड़ के दिया था। उसी टाइम वो ऐसा पूरा विश्वास से पकड़ना आ सकते तो तभी सोच सकते थे।
बट नहीं हुआ, कुछ किया
कुछ नहीं किया वो, वो मेरे पर केयर ही नहीं किया, वो लोग मदद नहीं किया वो लोग। हम वीकनेस हम लाके तुम लाके ढूंढ के लाके थे, वो बोला।
पुलिस ने बोला आपको विटनेस लेके लाने को,
हाँ
और आपने लाया। वो अभी तक भी वो इसके बाद भी केयर नहीं किया। क्या बोलने लगा?
हाँ चलो कल ढूंढेंगे, हाँ इतना ही बोला।
और मैसेज बाउंड्री पे मैसेज बोला भेजेगा, कुछ बाउंड्री पर कुछ इसको कुछ ऐसे कुछ आपको एक्सप्लेन किया वो लोग क्या करेगा, क्या करता है, एफआईआर फाइल करने का है कम, वो सब कुछ बोला करने
कुछ भी बोला नहीं,
चुप बैठा ढूंढेंगे बोल के बोला।
कभी सर प्रेशर डालेगा तभी थोड़ा ढूंढने को चालू करते।
आप जब आप गए था पहला 15 दिन में चाय तो दिया पुलिस स्टेशन में?
नहीं
बिठाया?
नहीं,
कुछ नहीं किया,
कुछ किया नहीं।
और आप विक्टिम है, आपका बच्चा गया।
हाँ,
और वो बोला चल जाओ, हम देखेंगे।
दर्द मेरे को है ना, उनको कुछ भी नहीं है।
That time I remember she used to come to us and Satish, and she used to tell that somebody was spotted who had given some soft drink and something, and this kind of clues should have been immediately followed.
No, she said that witnesses were taken. So what more is it?
No, see, now this is a case wherein no action has been taken against any police officer. So what kind of message are you giving?
Actually, Arunabh, let me just interrupt you on this. This is a point that I'm see now. For example, like you, me, we get blamed for anything happens. Who's to be blamed? You are to be blamed. But time after time we see, again it's one of my favorite things. Everybody says we are very good, we can detect heinous crimes X, Y, Z. What are the conviction rates? Goa is among the highest trafficking agencies. What is the conviction? You tell me what is the conviction in all the cases you find? How many people go to jail?
See, what to 2022 NRB data, NCRB data says zero convictions
Okay,
in the cases of human trafficking.
Now tell me one thing. Zero conviction means who? The government PPs go and the cops go. The investigation, the PPs. So some action has to be taken. How many of them were sacked? How many police officers cases were filed against? You are aware? No, nothing.
No, I don't know, but I know that recently we had a case, okay, wherein the conviction by the lower court was 8 years. Okay, now High Court has acquitted that case only because, okay, a silly mistake was done by prosecution that they didn't examine the decoy customer, which was so important in this case because the victim has not deposed because she is married and the other thing. So this also goes to show that how serious are we, okay, in prosecuting, and we don't realize that if we don't prosecute, it will not send a different message.
It's useless. See, somebody goes to jail and comes out within a week.
Yeah.
Kya fayda? He goes out, starts again. I'm sure this has happened. Because this happened, it happens in most of these, in many of the.
No, in most of our sex trafficking cases, we find things that only one thing is common, where the police officer, ours NGO, and the trafficker. Okay, the victim is new. So in most of the cases, the same trafficker gets arrested. Okay, comes on the bail and again in the same business. Okay, so what we want to say, as I said in the beginning, that no society is crime free, okay, but what we need to see is that we need to take steps that how we can control crime, and Goa being a tourist state, the chances of the crime rate to be high is going to be there. But we need to see the performance of the state. What steps have we taken for prevention?
Prevention is in India. Prevention is fear. The same way as a person will not going to throw pan in US, but he will do it in Goa or India, or pee on the road in Goa or India and not do it in US. Why? Because you get paid. And the Prime Minister was caught for not wearing a seatbelt. Here, which minister or ministers, even chela or follower, will get caught for not putting a seatbelt?
Sir, I am a student of criminology, and I have been again and again repeatedly saying, Goa is a small state.
Yes.
What you need to do there, you need to do a mapping of vulnerable population and vulnerable locations, which are vulnerable to crime. So many years we have been saying that it hasn't happened. And if you do that, you will find that crime rate can be reduced.
But I'm talking about conviction.
So definitely, see all the aspects, whether it is prevention, whether it is investigation, whether it is prosecution. We need to simultaneously pay emphasis to all, not on one. But unfortunately here, neither we are doing on any of the, whether prevention, protection or prosecution.
And accountability.
I differ a little bit, because see, for me, I don't think even if 100%, suppose there are 100 robberies, 100% detection is there, if there is no conviction, you will never stop.
There is no deterrent.
Because who's scared?
Who is scared?
These are career criminals. It is a profession. Like I am a journalist or you are in crime. If that fear is not there, no, if I make a crime, I will go to jail, I will spend the next 10 years in jail. We'll go out, bail, come out. It's like a occupational hazard, no? I don't think, if conviction is not done, if crime rate, even with 100% detection, I don't think it's of any use. What you feel, Juliana? You are also in this. What you feel should be done?
Okay, I think when you talk about, obviously conviction is one thing, okay, but I think again coming into preventive, okay, because I think we need to do a lot of work at the preventive level, okay. Let it be if you're talking of children who are prone to coming in conflict with law. We need to see how we work with them and prevent them from becoming bigger criminals. So those children who have come in conflict with law, working with them becomes important, and yeah, I think that's what we need to do.
Okay, now I give you a small example of me. Okay, now all of us drive. We have to go from one place to another. We have to drive. Now, have you seen the way people drive on our own roads? Are they aware that you're not supposed to overtake on this side of the road? Like today morning, I'll tell you, obviously you're concentrating on one side of the road. One father and child came on the other side. I didn't see them. They almost banged. So I stopped and I asked him, I said, why you on that? He said, no, you had placed, no, you could have gone to the other side. I said, Are, how am I going to see that? And tomorrow if I bang you, forget, like, you're old. No offense to anybody, but you're old. You've lived your life. You think at least of your daughter, no? Who's behind you on the bike. So I don't believe that people today want to listen. They don't listen. You go on the road, see the way these people are driving, basically because probably they have no knowledge or they have nobody wants to admit that they don't know. So if the fear of the law is not there, I don't think anything is going to change.
But that is true, but also somebody must have given the license, no? Okay.
I asked him, I said, who did you pay?
So why not action against that person whenever accident is happening and where we see that there is a gross violation of traffic rules, we need to also see that who has been the licensing person. Okay, if you are giving license without seeing the person has good knowledge of driving, then accident will happen.
Fair enough. Yeah, Prakash, this is another way of looking at it. Okay. Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, this is what, so total this is accountability at every level has to be there. What happens is, when you say there are no convictions, has anybody studied why there are no convictions? where are the faults? As he said in High Court overturns the verdict of the lower court because one of the
not examined, which was
was not
lacuna in the prosecution.
So all these cases have to be examined, accountability should be held, which is not happening in our system. And one area I feel is the people have to be aware, and media also has to play its role.
Correct. Yeah, I think, see, I am optimistic in many ways. I feel it doesn't, it's not going to, a little bit of fine tuning can sort matters out, I feel, but that will has to be there, and I think the will is, we are a democracy, will is only there if pressure is put on various sides, be it from the people, the media.
What I would like to add is, see, we sometimes, when you talk about will, the will is very short-lived. Okay, because I do remember 2 years back, when you talk about missing children, there was a project Smile, which was all over India, okay, where you had the district administration, the law enforcement agency, NGOs who are going around and looking at children who are on the street, where are they coming
begging
from?
And all that.
Yeah. So why is that not continued? Okay, and we again have that mechanism of missing child, track missing child. Okay, why are the photos not uploaded? Why are we not checking that? So at least if there is a child who has gone missing, is in a particular destination, if there is sharing of information from where the child is missing, there's a high chance of the child coming back and being in a safe environment.
Ultimately,
so I think the will and continuity,
but if you
consistency is important.
If the will is there, if the politicians make a noise with the bureaucrat, then they will do it. Otherwise, nahi hone wala. Okay, anyway, we have I think see, I'm positive if enough pressure is put, and with see, we assume that the government is for the people, by the people, of the people, of course, for and all that. We assume that it is. I am positive, very optimistic that governments are, and also that public servants, they are known as public servants because they are working for the public, and along with the media and civic society like NGOs, we probably things will change. Things are changing, taking a long time, but it's changing. Hopefully we will continue this pressure to ensure that starting with Goa, the rest of the country also improves in many ways. Thanks a lot, Prakash Bab, Arun Bab, Sushman ji, thank you, Juliana ma'am, thank you very much. Thank you. Now this is something I am optimistic, but then as we have to see how it goes, whether it is it's there in our lifetime or probably only our children will benefit from all this. Thank you, and keep watching Goa 365.